super excited to be filming again, and I know it's been a while, but we're back. We're gonna do a new series actually today, and I don't want to make this video too talky, too much talking, too much everything, too much explaining. We'll do that on another video, but today I just wanted to get started, get right into my new series that I'm really excited about doing. Something that's like a little bit more carefree, something that takes a little bit less time, something that's just really quick, but also something that I can upload pretty frequently, and also something that you guys can kind of get involved in suggesting for. So the name of this series is 1, 2, 3, and basically what we're gonna do is just pick a different subject basically, and it can be anything from beauty to activities to home decor to style to fashion, whatever kind of is interesting at the moment. And then from there, just pick 3 different price ranges basically. Something that's a little bit less expensive, something that's kind of more mid-range, and then also something that is more pricey. And we'll kind of go from there just to kind of get an idea of the different things that are out there. And then I can let you know if I've used them before, if I've been to that particular place, if I've done that particular style, if I own one of those items, whatever it might be. I mean, it's going to vary every time we do a different category. But that's kind of the gist of it. So it's called 1, 2, 3. And today we're going to be starting with something that I really love, which is concealers. So today I have a couple options for concealers. And we're going to start with the lowest price range first, then kind of the mid one, and then the more expensive ones. And honestly, once you get into like anything above drugstore concealers, it's kind of hard to say whether, I mean, there's not really kind of a mid-price range. It's either, you know, your mid-price concealer or like the expensive ones. So for this one, I have my lower priced ones, the affordable ones, and then I also have a couple options, all pretty much in the same price range, but they're going to be kind of like our mid-price to expensive concealers. Hey, look who's making an appearance. But that's kind of the gist of it. I'm super excited to be able to start this new series on my channel. I think it'll be fun. It's really easy for me to edit so that I can do it a little bit more often, but it's still something that's really useful for you guys. Hi. But yeah, so the first thing I'm actually going to do is just let you know what I'm wearing on my face right now, because I know that I'm going to forget to put it in the down bar below. So I'll just do that real quick right now. Okay, so the products that I'm wearing on my face right now, and I just realized that I think I forgot to bring out my eyeliner, but I'll just let you know. It's the NYX Felt Tip Eyeliner in black. But for foundation, I'm actually not wearing a foundation. I'm wearing a foundation serum. It's by e.l.f. and it's their new foundation serum with goji berry, and it also has sunscreen in it, and I'm wearing the shade, they only have 2 shades, but I think I'm wearing this shade medium dark. So I'm wearing that, and I've been really liking this. And then just to spot conceal, because this is kind of more of a serum, like a tinted moisturizer serum, I'm just using my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Tan, because I'm a little bit more tan. For my highlight today, I'm using Wet n Wild Precious Petals. Again, I don't even know if you guys can see it. I think it's too bright. Calm down. Anyways. Wet n Wild Precious Petals Mega Glow Highlight, and it's more of like a pinky highlight. And then for my bronzer, I'm actually wearing like all affordable stuff. I'm wearing Milani Baked Bronzer. Ooh, the brush just fell out. Baked Bronzer, and this is kind of like a nice gold bronzer, if you guys can see. I don't even know. There we go. And it's in the shade 05 Soleil. And then for my brows, I am using my NYX brow pencil. This is the brow pencil that I use all the time. I switch between espresso and black. Today I'm wearing espresso. And then on my eyelids, I am wearing this Flesh Beauty Flesh Pot Eye and Cheek Gloss in Disco Nap. And it's basically just kind of like a gloss for your eyes and your cheeks. I wouldn't wear it on my cheeks because I'm just too oily for that, but I like to wear it on my eyes, and it just gives a really nice wet effect without being super pigmented. So it's pretty much just like a clear topper I would say. And it just gives my eyes a really nice glisten when the light hits it. And then for my eyeliner, I'm wearing the Felt Tip eyeliner by NYX. And then for my lips, I'm just wearing a lip gloss and some, I think I'm wearing like Aquaphor as like my chapstick. But I'm also wearing a lip gloss, and it's the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss. And this is in the shade Champagne Glam. And I love this one. It does have that tingly feeling, but I like this one. Let's get right into the video. The first ones that I'm going to start off with are the more affordable concealers. And I'll tell you what shades I wear and what the purpose of them are for each of the concealers that I pick. Okay, so number one, and one is going to be our more affordable brand of concealer. I picked the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealers, and this is fairly new, but this is what the packaging looks like, if you guys have never seen them before. But it's just like a really simple packaging, and I used to use their Ultra HD concealer and I really liked it a lot, but I found that the formula for that one was a little bit thin. This one is a little bit thicker, and I'm actually going to read you guys the claims for it. Let me see. Okay, so I'm looking on the Ulta website, and it looks like it comes in 24 shades, which is pretty good. And then it says that it kind of basically is partnered with their Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, which I actually really like as well. But they're supposed to be together. Their creamy multitasker also delivers full coverage with the finish that lasts for up to 24 hours. I don't wear my concealer that long, so I wouldn't really know. But it says that it's a matte formula to camouflage your imperfections, brighten up your face, and contour. So it sounds like you can use it both for contouring if you get a darker shade, concealing if you want to just conceal your blemishes, but also brightening if you want to do that as well, which is pretty much the same thing that every other concealer does. But this one is, let me see, $8.50. And I have a couple different shades that I use. The ones that I have are medium olive, which is my lighter shade, so that's shade 09. And then I also have beige, and that's kind of closer to my skin tone when I'm a little bit paler. I think I would need a little bit of a darker shade to be like my true like tan color, but it is close to like my actual skin color. And I really like this formula. I think it's not too thick, it's not too thin, it's really buildable, and it's actually really great for just kind of spot concealing if I want to do that. I think it has great coverage that way. It doesn't get oily, it doesn't move around, it's really easy to blend. So this has actually been one of my favorite concealers. I think it's actually really similar to another concealer that I'm going to talk about today. But I think for the price that it is and for how it performs, and also the color range, I would say, I think it has a great color range for anybody that needs something different. They have really great undertones. I would say some of the undertones are a little bit weird, like beige, for example, I would think would be a little bit more pink, but it's a little bit more olive, so that's just something to keep in mind. But I bought these at Ulta, and you can also swatch them in the store. Okay, so moving on to the next concealer. The next one that I picked up, so the next three concealers I'm going to talk about, because I just wanted to give you guys a couple different options, but they're all pretty much the same price because I don't really have like a really expensive concealer that I really like. It's okay. So the next one I'm going to talk about is the Ultra HD concealer from Makeup Forever, and this is their new one. This is the one that's supposed to be self-setting. So you can basically set it or use them without a powder. It has really similar packaging to the NYX one. And I would say actually that the NYX one and this one are really similar. Okay, so for this concealer it comes in, it looks like 22 colors. And it says that it's a creamy concealer with medium buildable coverage, a natural finish, and a second skin feel, and a self-setting formula with up to 12-hour crease-free wear. So the main thing about this concealer, I feel like, is that it's supposed to basically self-set, so you don't have to set it with a powder and it won't crease. And I do think that that's true, but I always set my T-zone with a powder anyway, so I wouldn't be able to really accurately say that part of things. However, I do feel like it isn't oily, but I also feel like my skin is changing, so in a drier climate it might be a little bit different, but I do feel like this is a concealer that won't get oily. It's not a dewy finish. It's not necessarily something that you want to use if you have really, really dry skin. However, I would not use this with really, really dry skin and a powder. I think that you could get away with using this with dry skin just by itself, and it would work great and look great, and since it's self-setting, you don't need the powder. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that if you're someone that is a little bit more dry, or if you have more mature skin, then this might be a good option for you in the sense that you don't need to set it and it's not going to crease on you. Okay, so the next concealer that I'm going to talk about that I'm sure that everybody has used at one point in their lives, has heard about, whether you like the brand or not. It's my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I think that this was my very first concealer that I really liked. It is super matte. It's very full coverage. You don't really need a lot of it, and a little goes a long way. It's like, it's that concealer, and that's always what it has been, and it works. I mean, it does work very well. I really like to use this as kind of something that I wear with my skin serum. So I will use my skin serum, which is a little bit of a lighter coverage, and it just evens out my skin tone, whatever it needs to do. Or sometimes I'll just use this by itself just to kind of spot conceal and blend in on days when I just want to be out the door. And this is a really great concealer for that purpose. But this one runs for $27, so similar to the Makeup Forever, just a little bit less expensive. It has a really big applicator, which I like a lot. If you guys have not seen it or aren't familiar, this is what the applicator looks like. It's really big, like doe foot applicator. And I also like to use some of their newer shades, which they did come out with more shades than they had before, in different undertones, and I like to use some of their darker shades just to contour. But this is, you know, meet Tarte's iconic Can't Live Without concealer and discover why one is sold every 12 seconds. Double Duty Beauty's Shape Tape Concealer is a vegan super blendable formula that instantly helps brighten, smooth, and give the skin a firmer, more lifted look. This one is a little bit heavier, so I would keep that in mind as well. It's just going to be a lot if you use too much, so there's that. But I mean, it's something that I can depend on. I know that it's always going to work. It's going to give me coverage. I'm very familiar with it. I've used it for a really long time, so I'm comfortable with it, and it works. It hasn't stopped working for me, so I really do enjoy this concealer. Okay, so the last concealer that I wanted to talk about is my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. And this one is also something that's been very popular with people for a very long time. It's been around for a good amount of time, and I don't think it comes in, I'm looking right now, yeah, it doesn't come in a lot of shades, which is kind of disappointing. Something like Tarte Shape Tape, they've definitely expanded their shade range a little bit. It's not a lot, but they have a little bit more. The Makeup Forever, for example, has a ton of shades. I know that Can't Stop, Won't Stop also has a ton of shades. So in terms of shade range, if you're really trying to match your skin, those Makeup Forever and NYX are really going to be the best ones for that part of things. This concealer, if you can find your shade just to brighten, is really, really great. It's a concealer that I was using for a really long time when I was a little bit more dry, like in the winter. And as opposed to other concealers that I did include in this video, this concealer, oh, let me tell you the price range. How much is this? I believe it's $28. I want to say it's $28. But this concealer is definitely claims to be more hydrating. So if you are someone that is a little bit more dry, then I would definitely give this one a try over any of the other concealers that I did mention, because virtually every other concealer that I use, because I am oily, is a little bit more matte. However, I mean, that you can get away if you don't powder you'll be fine, because the concealer will just kind of warm up to your skin. So you have the option with all these concealers to not use a setting powder, and you'll be fine even if you do have dry skin. This one, it really, like, when I use it, I feel like my skin is glowing. I can definitely see it on my skin. Like, it's very hydrating. So I think that that's one thing that's really great about this concealer. The only unfortunate part is that it doesn't come in a lot of shades. So this one, Tarte Shape Tape, and Makeup Forever all are very similar prices. I think they range just like $1 difference. But they all have really different benefits. And so depending on kind of what you're more interested in, what your skin type is, you can pick from any one of those three and you'll be fine. In terms of NYX, I think that you can get away with also using that if you have many different skin types. And I think that the great thing is that you can always find your shade in it, which is really great. And I think for $8.50, like, are you kidding me? And I think it performs as well as any of these other concealers. It's just not as well known. It's a little bit of a newer concealer. I would just give it a try just because I think that it is a great concealer. Okay, so that is it for my first 1, 2, 3 video. I hope you guys liked the concept. I think it's a pretty straightforward concept. It's pretty easy to understand, but I think that it's just going to be fun to kind of pick out different topics to talk about besides just makeup. I mean, I know that this video was a makeup video, but I haven't done one in so long, so I was really excited to get to film today. But I will be coming out with more of these videos, hopefully more frequently, just because they're easier to film. Benji is back. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one, hopefully in a week. Are you serious? Oh my god, there is the fattest hair in my eye. Oh no. A little bit of white wine with ice because it keeps me hydrated.